Have you ever wondered what the problem with wheat is? Why are so many people making such a big deal out of it? And I wondered that myself. I grew up eating cereal for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, never even thought twice about having bread or pasta. And I thought I ate pretty healthy except for the occasional piece of cake or cookie. And so I decided to do my own research. I wanted to figure out what is the problem with wheat, because I'm not the type of person to just stop eating a food because someone tells me it's bad for me. I needed to understand the why. And what I came across two major problems with our modern North American wheat. Over the last 100 years, wheat's been changed. Our grain has been changed. And what they've done is they've done this thing called hybridization, and they've done this over multiple generations, multiple times. And they've made it so now the grain has a high percentage of gluten in it. Gluten, what it is it's a large protein. It's difficult for our human bodies to break down, so it ends up causing inflammation in our bodies just because we can't effectively break down that grain. Now, gluten in small quantities, our bodies are able to break down and metabolize, except if you're celiac or gluten intolerant. But in large quantities, our bodies just can't effectively break it down. They made those changes in order to have a stronger dough. It was better or harder grain in agriculture. But those changes were made to the grain without any studies or any thought of the long-term effects on human physiology. And that's what we're starting to see now. The second problem with our modern North American wheat is a product called glyphosate. And this is a herbicide, also known as Roundup, that's routinely sprayed on the wheat crop. And what they started to do in the late 1990s is they started to do something called desiccation. And they started to do a final spray of the glyphosate onto the crop close to the end of harvest. And what they were finding is that when they did that, they increased the amount of seed, they increased their yields, and they were able to do an earlier harvest. Glyphosate was shown to have actually a negative effect on our human physiology, and it actually affected our human microbiome and decreased that human microbiome. It actually caused injury to those villi that line the digestive tract. And the other thing it did was it actually decreased the detoxification pathways and impaired those detoxification pathways. So these were major problems that the glyphosate was having on our human physiology. So these are two major reasons why our modern North American wheat is problematic for us. And I actually recommend that all of my patients avoid consuming wheat because it's really just not a healthy food for any of us. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends, press the like button, make a comment below, and until next time, continue to grow, learn, and build health.